Hey YouTube, we're back with a couple replays from Captain America, aka Garrett G, playing on NRG, and he's actually playing against Hockey in both these 1v1 replays. Players that I think we hope to see have a lot of success in North America in the upcoming RLCS. If you guys haven't heard of Garrett G, well then you haven't really followed Rocket League in North America, as he has been a long-time member of NRG and is a world champion for North America. You guys may know that recently Garrett G and Justin no longer teaming, as he gets a nice air roll to finish this shot on NRG. Instead, it'll be Mist and Frosty. Frosty, a guy we've had on the channel, a little bit of a newcomer, and Mist. And NRG has had some good success. You know, they haven't looked too shabby with their new roster. I don't know if it's going to be the cure for their struggles in the previous season, but it's a fresh look, and I think it's probably the right call for Garrett, looking to go to, you know, a potential new prodigy who, you never know, could be the spice that they need. Now, on the other side of the field of this 1v1, though, is Hockey, a player that, if you guys haven't been following the Rocket League scene in, you know, the past month or so during this off season, or not month or so, a few months, because this is one of the longer off seasons, Hockey has been having a ton of success alongside Hey Bro with Wavy and Creams, a team that's looking like maybe one of the best teams in North America, certainly like a major team based on their results that they've had. They actually finished third in a recent North American tournament that had Oxygen in it. I don't know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait, Oxygen, aren't they an EU team? They came over and boot camped, but basically the only North American team that they lost out to was G2. And G2, of course, supposed to be that North American super team, and they're only, you know, falling to that team. So that's Hockey, Creams, and Wavy, players you probably weren't thinking of when you thought of top players in North America. And I'll be honest, this is something I kind of expected. When a huge offseason happened, I was wondering whether or not there was going to be just a brand new team. And, you know, it felt like, I guess I wasn't really wondering, I was almost sure that there would be, because it's a long time where people aren't having their eyes on these teams. And I think that had there been current tournaments, you know, going all the time, maybe we've seen the slow rise of Hey Bro, but Hey Bro has done it all at once, and they got themselves signed by TSM. So TSM taking the risk with this squad, who technically has no real RLCS results, at least not enough to warrant, you know, a pickup from an org as good as TSM, but they see the potential. They see that they may have snagged, you know, a major team in North America. So I think it's a good pickup for TSM, and I'm happy for Hockey, Creams, and Wavy. So those are the players that luckily look like they're still working on their game, as Garrett is able to drop this into the bottom right. Garrett G and Hockey are in the lab, at least you would think so, in a ones ranked game. A lot of people consider ranked ones to be a place to work on your mechanics and to stay fresh in the game, as a lot of top youngsters come from the 1v1 arena, and there's really no hiding when it comes to needing to be able to do everything on the field when you play in one. So we're going to get a little look, not just at Garrett G, but also at Hockey, to get an idea of how these guys are looking in the ones game, maybe how that stuff can translate. Garrett G has a really tough setup to work with, and Hockey actually let him get away with a fairly long dribble, but maybe that's because he saw his opportunity to counterattack Emily. He missed his counterattack. He gets a demo, and by all means, this should be a goal, and it will be. So 4-4, Garrett G in the orange, Hockey in the blue. We have a couple champions, an RLCS Season 8 World Champion for Garrett G and a CRL 2022 World Champion for Hockey. So these guys know how to win tournaments. It's great shots. A kickoff win into an air dribble reset top shelf, and it's a good punishment for the way Hockey was defending earlier, being really patient, just waiting for Garrett to make a play. And I mentioned that many times before. It's not a bad idea, especially at the start of a ranked game or a series, to test and really force your opponent to show that they are on their game, that they are hitting their shots, and then work from there when it comes to respecting those arrows, respecting those resets. Hockey right now down 4-5, but with a clear possession as Garrett G backs off, allows him to go for a flick. I think there's a world in which he gets that power, but he didn't. And because it was softs, Garrett G able to control into the corner and boom, a long shot. For those of you that have been watching Dark, we all know how he has been able to farm on those. I mean, it's still possible at times to do without the dashing, but I think there's just going to be tons more opportunities as Dark shows how possible it can be to beat almost anyone to the ball. Interesting play by Garrett. He actually went up to the ball, got the reset, and Hockey, you know, maybe a slight change from what he was doing before. Very aggressive. Little to no faith in Garrett's ability to control that down and actually get a useful reset. That's exactly what Garrett got. He's looking to try and make it 8-4, and he will. A kickoff win. Goes off the right wall, and it's 8-4 with a minute 18 left to go. A cushion that Garrett can certainly play with as little time as there is on the clock. But initial kickoff lost into the blue half, but a possession for Hockey, and he will slice the dice. Garrett giving a ton of space, making it possible for Hockey to be able to get such a clean possession. A lot of times when the ball gets won into the opposite half, you'll see players, you know, staying on ball, forcing something awkward. Bit of a missed pre-flip by Garrett, but it's still, you know, a pretty smooth move as he tries to set up his air dribble. The only problem is the finish had just about as much clumsiness as the setup did, which means it'll be a freebie for Hockey, who is very much still in this game now that he's able to string two together. Hockey, will he score off this kickoff? I don't think there's any way Garrett is able to get it clear. So just like that, 3 straight, and Hockey is more than in it now. Straight kickoff for Garrett G. There, that's that front flip again. If only there was a way to accelerate the front flip. Of course, canceling it is used often to get smooth landings, but in those situations, Garrett actually just needs to speed it up. Garrett turning, staying aggressive. I like this. With a 1-goal lead, you know, that's basically a no-goal lead. You need to stay completely in the game. What you don't want to do is think that you're safe just because of that. Back off. Allow the opponent to set up whatever they want. So Garrett playing it wise. He's actually going to back up into the corner now. Again, allow Hockey a free possession that I think could be tough to play with if he does turn in. You know, there are times when there's really no reason you should turn in challenge, but if the ball is awkward, you don't want to give an opponent the opportunity to play something easy. And, you know, is he going to score on 0 seconds? He has lost the game. No, Garrett will dunk it down. So Garrett's going to take the first 2 of the 2 games that we're watching. We have another one between Garrett G and Hockey. Game number 2. Garrett G in the Carmine core in the blue. Hockey basically in the Vitality decal, only it's the Radosin Vitality preset. Does Radosin use the slime boost as well? I know he has some weird stuff. Like, he has the shark trail, I'm pretty sure. But I can't remember if he uses this slime boost. Either way, Hockey playing as Radosin, getting inspired by the most recent world champion. And will he show off the skills of world champion as he tries to go the full field? Garrett actually allowing him to do so. And what I mean by that is not challenging him on the ground as he falls far short of the nets, but instead allowing him to come to the net and gets caught creeping out. Hockey will be the first on the board in this second ranked game. Hockey, the camera check into the back corner. Garrett is going to demo and then return back to the wall. And Hockey actually, I don't know if he made that better. This is a pretty quick read on the respawn. For a second, I thought he was going to put it in front of the net and make it very scoreable, but now he actually has a good opportunity the other way. Well, a fine opportunity. He's on 0 boost, and Garrett just let him play way too much on the ball. That is a tough situation to operate in if you're Hockey. And of course, Garrett doesn't want to, you know, dive in and give him an opportunity to make like a single jump, be an outplay. But I think what Garrett really needs to do is stick around, make Hockey feel the presence, and maybe make a mistake. So many players make those mistakes or read even, you know, the presence of a defender as a challenge and end up popping the ball away. What I'm sure both these guys will find as they grind the 1v1 ranks is that everyone is too lethal up here to allow them to have any free possession. Certainly 1v1 has favored the offense with how high scoring it is. Garrett able to make the save off the backboard, and he goes for the demo, so now he's got space, and that's not the cleanest of setups. Going to cost him a bit of boost. And then he ended up feeling the pressure of the respawn from Hockey. So it's a little bit of what I'm talking about. Hockey just returning to the play, sees an awkward setup, and instead of allowing Garrett to recover from it, forces him to make a move. Oh my goodness. Garrett just bumped Hockey into an own goal. Oh, that is pretty unlucky. And of course, it's very fitting that Hockey is wearing the Radosin decal. Radosin famous for own goaling in RLCS games with Vitality. And that was quite the own goal from Hockey. I mean, it really wasn't an own goal. Garrett kind of forced him into it. It was a pool shot from Garrett, but it is going to have orange trail on its way into the orange net. And Garrett, that was a creep out that he's not going to be able to get away with. He wanted to pick up pads. You see him driving out over the semicircle, but because he does that a little bit too far from the nets, he cannot recover, and those pads are not worth anything when you can't use them to make a save. He can't get back to this ball, and he's going to completely leave. I think a bit of frustration from him. What a flick from Hockey. And like I said, I think Garrett has to just try his best to stay on ball. You want to prevent as many freebie opportunities, space opportunities for a top-tier player like Hockey as you can. And obviously, it doesn't feel great to try and stay on ball. There's a good chance you're going to lose at 50. It's not going to go your way, and then you're going to get scored on. And I think that's where Garrett, decides to go back. He's hoping that maybe I can make something out of returning to my net, but the reality is you make that decision every time. Very fortunate that he didn't get scored on here. And over the long run, you're going to be in a much worse situation. So sometimes you have to just accept your loss and do the best you can with it. Now, to be fair, the way Garrett plays is great against non-talented opponents. Opponents he feels comfortable just saving whatever they throw at him, but I don't think you should work on your ones game in a way that, relies on the opponent not being so good. Here, Garrett's going to go for an air dribble and a 50. And then tap in the low ball. Hockey. He sees Garrett cutting across the field with him, and so he's not going to be able to take a wall to air dribble or make his way all the way to the side wall. So he actually tries to cut infield. Maybe as a counter to that. But it plays right into Garrett. He's able to get a goal. Garrett G. Flick over the backboard. Little camera check to see what he's dealing with. Actually got a little bit too lost in the camera check, it seems. Wasn't able to quickly make the touch and turn it into some offense. Hockey, nice pre-jump to cover the angle. That's his own back corner boost, and Garrett will back off. I want to see him enter the play quickly, and that's even enough. That fake challenge gets Hockey to start his flick way early, and look at the counterattack. Garrett G adjusting, especially after that flick was placed so perfectly top right. He knows that Hockey has that. Now it's a kickoff win for Hockey. Sends it directly on net. Garrett wisely soft touch to control. Give himself an opportunity to grab boost. Got a little bit lost on this air dribble and actually can't get the boost steal. I want to see him turn infield. Actually, that'd have been a tough place to turn infield, but I do want him to be more aggressive when he can. Hockey pinching across his net. This is a great play from Garrett. Steal boost, able to not get caught out here. And Hockey went for a demo, bit of an all-in play. He needed an all-in play. Garrett did well to play keep away, and Hockey's actually not going to let it bounce in with 3 seconds left to go, so Garrett is going to win this ranked game. But I should qualify. Garrett and Hockey played a lot of ranked games. I think they were mostly uploaded by Hockey, and Hockey got a couple wins himself. There was probably a back and forth. Maybe it went one slight game the way or the other, but I think you guys could tell this was a close matchup, and these guys hoping to be at the top of their game in the RLCS. Can Garrett and the rest of NRG bounce back with the new squad? They have Mist as well as Frosty, the youngster. Or will it be Hey Bro, the new guys who have had a little bit more success in recent tournaments? I'll be honest, I think my money's on Hey Bro. Hey Bro has looked really good, or I should say TSM. They got picked up by TSM. So Hockey and TSM, an exciting exciting trio to look at next season. But Garrett G on his ones game, able to get these wins.